Greetings and welcome to St. Paul's United Church of Christ. Well, the Christmas countdown has begun. I realize it's not even quite Thanksgiving yet, but here at St. Paul's, we always put up our Christmas trees before hunting season starts, simply because we have a crew to do that. So today was the day, and all the trees and all the roping is up, and it's starting to look a little bit like Christmas, as the old song goes. But that made me think of something. This year, with COVID-19, Christmas shopping is going to look a little bit different, I suspect. I'm going to guess that a lot of us, maybe if we've even not done it before, will start to buy things online and have them delivered to our door. It's safer, it's convenient, of course. It's not necessarily the way I like to do Christmas shopping, but even for me, I've made a few orders now that made me start to think about something. And that's the case of how do we do that safely in this environment these days? So I'm not necessarily here today to sell you script cards, but I'm going to tell you that St. Paul's does sell script cards to most of the major stores, and it's a great way to be safe and to spend just exactly the amount of money you want to spend. But even that, wouldn't you know it, I was able to find a lesson that I thought might be appropriate for today, thinking about that, and I gave it some thought, so I have a few words to share with you after that. So the text I'm going to share with you today comes from 1 John, and actually I've been reading from 1 John here just a little bit ago, and so it may even sound a little bit familiar. See what love the Father has given to us, that we are called children of God, and that we are His. The reason the world does not know us is that He did not know Him. Beloved, we are God's children. Beloved, we are God's children now. What we will be has not yet been revealed. What we do know is this: when He is revealed, we will be like Him, for we will see Him as He is. And all who have this hope in Him will purify themselves just as He is pure. Now, ironically, I've used that same message for even my kids club connection a little bit earlier today. But it does open up some good conversation, I do believe, and that's why we call these pastors' ponderings. Have you ever been the victim of identity theft? It's on the news mostly this time of the year because this is the prime time for people to try to steal your identity. It is a growth industry, really. A recent study showed that 15.4 million people in the United States have been victims of identity theft in the last year. In the past 6 years, identity thieves have stolen over, are you ready for this? $107 billion from people just like you and me. So this is almost more like a public service announcement today. What is identity theft? Clearly, it's a serious crime. Identity theft happens when someone uses information about you without your permission. They could use your name, your address, your credit card or bank account numbers, your social security numbers, even medical insurance account numbers to do you harm. What are the most common ways to identify a theft? Well, according to the U.S. Department of Justice, there are several ways somebody can steal your identity in public. So pay attention to this. In public places, for example, criminals may engage in what's known as shoulder surfing. You know, watching you from a nearby location, as you punch in your PIN number, your ID number, your telephone number, your credit card number, your social security number, whatever it may be. Or they can listen in on your conversation if you give your credit card number over the phone. If you receive applications for pre-approved credit cards in the mail, but discard them without having them shredded, criminals may retrieve them and try to activate the cards for their use without your knowledge. Also, if your mail is delivered to a place where others have ready access to it, criminals may simply intercept and redirect your mail to another location. Many people, and don't do this, but many people respond to spam, unsolicited emails. That promises some benefit, but also requests some personal identity information. And with that data, the criminal is able to conduct a wide range of crimes. For example, false application for loans or credit cards, fundamental withdrawals from bank accounts, fraudulent use of telephone calling cards or online accounts, or obtaining other goods or privileges which the criminal might be denied if they would use their own real name. Little sidebar here. Be extra cautious if it's something that comes from China or for some other country. Now that I made you a little bit paranoid, I've hoped I also have made you a little more vigilant as we come to the Christmas spending season for 2020. Knowing this year that things are going to be significantly different and that you may not be shopping as much in stores but using online services, be extra careful. Identity theft is a threat to every single one of us, and it can happen to anybody. So, why am I spending some time talking about lost or stolen identity today? It is because I believe this is, of course, a tragedy that's happening to just a lot of innocent people, to lose his or her, whatever the case may be, identity. Our lesson that I shared earlier today is from 1 John 3. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. That's our identity. That's who we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it does not know God. My friends, now we are children of God, and what we will be has not yet been revealed. But we know that when Christ appears, we shall all be like him, for we shall see him as he is. All who have this hope in him, just as he is pure, we too will become pure. If you have made Christ your Lord in your life, then you too are children of God. Terrible things happen to us as people when we forget who we are. Some of us forget our values. Some of us lose all senses of our purpose. All of us lose our joy. A very exclusive auction was held a year or so ago. The money bid for objects which were auctioned off went for far higher than any price anybody could have ever imagined. For example, the winning bid for a rocking chair that was valued between $3,000 and $5,000 sold for $453,000. This had been the case throughout the duration of the auction. A used automobile valued at $18,000 to $22,000 sold for $79,500. A set of green tumblers valued at about $500 sold for $38,000. A necklace valued at $500 to $700, went for $211,500. For 4 days, this auction continued, and the prices were astronomical. Not because of the items themselves, but they were the estate of Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. The value of the items auctioned to be sold on the basis of the one to whom they belonged, not on so much of what they really were. Why are you and I of value? It is because of the one to whom we belong. You and I maybe appear to be just regular, ordinary folks, like all the rest of the folks around us. But God sees us a little bit differently. God sees us as having ultimate value, enough value that God gave his only son, Jesus Christ, to die on that cross on our behalf. Friends, don't let anybody tell you that you don't matter. Don't let anyone rob you of your identity. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we are called children of God. And that's what we are. My friends, now we are children of God. And what we will be has not yet been made known. But we know one thing, that when Christ appears, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Word of warning, be a little careful in your shopping endeavors this year. Be cautious of your PIN numbers. Be cautious of your online buying. Just play it smart. You know, come to think of it, another way to play it smart is to make sure that you take Jesus Christ as your Lord and your Savior this Christmas season. The ultimate gift is given. And all you need to do is receive it and open it and use it every single day. And what a gift it is. It is the gift of being a child of God. Well, okay, so I told you there's a little word of warning today. So think about this as we go into the Advent and Christmas season. Be safe, be well, be wise. Happy Thanksgiving, happy Advent, Merry Christmas, and all the good things that go with that. I'll check with you again next week to see what I'm thinking about then, okay? Take care. Bye for now.